Good evening and welcome to another episode of Berardi and Co. post-Arsenal. How are we doing? I'm joined with James, Smarty and Becki G. How are you doing?
All right.
I haven't thrown myself off a bridge, so that's a bonus.
That's a good start for a Sunday evening.
We'll make it in tomorrow for work. Happy day.
Loves a bit of graft. What about you, Bex? How's things?
Yeah, I mean, it could be better, couldn't it? But
It could.
got a whiskey and I'm not at work tomorrow, so...
And football's not everything, is it? And we're interviewing somebody really good, actually, tomorrow, Becki, you and I. But keep that under wraps. Shh, don't tell anyone. But yeah, we're here just to talk about that, best way to describe it, lacklustre performance, I suppose, against Arsenal. Game of two halves, the old cliche. I felt the first half, we were absolute dog shit, got found out, and probably could have been more than 4-0. And then the second half, we won. No, it was 3-0 at half time, sorry, weren't it? The first one scored early on, second half. And then the second half, we won 2-1. So yeah, absolutely, game of two halves. What did you make of that first half, James?
Well, I just maybe what you said. I think it was a little bit toothless. But to be honest, as soon as I found out that Phillips were in the starting 11, I thought, here we go. There's going to be no fight in the middle of midfield. And I don't think we did, really. I think his midfield just got swamped. Arsenal seemed to be very sharp. They seemed to be winning all the 50-50 challenges. They just seemed to want it more, I think, in first half. We just didn't seem to get going. And those first two goals as well, first three goals even, that first goal, you got beat by I don't know where the freaking hell Meslier were going. I think he must have thought that he were going to go maybe shoot to his left or whatever, so he kind of adjusted. But if he'd have stayed where he was, I think he'd have made a decent little save there. He shouldn't have. What can you say?
I think you're right. I think because of the positioning of Cooper and Ayling, they almost covered that front that near post.
Yeah.
So Ayling took a natural step to his left to open that part of the goal up, and the ball's gone through the two of them in like the fucking most minuscule of gaps that only a ball could fit through, and crept in. So yeah, I think you're quite right. So yeah, sorry. So Bex, we expected that lineup. But what we didn't probably expect is that lineup in those positions, probably, or maybe we did. How do you think that went?
Well, it didn't go very well, did it? I really am struggling with seeing us play certain players in positions that they're not comfortable in, or they don't seem to be comfortable, and they just seem lost on the pitch, like constantly, like they're just running around like headless chickens, and it's starting to get a bit frustrating. We can't keep going into first halves and fucking it up. Like, we can't just rely on the second half every time, and that's what the last few games it's felt like that. I know we've got players injured, but why aren't we playing to our players' strengths? I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, no, I think fair assessment. I think there was just too much of a shuffle today. I think given the performance against Leicester and Palace, Stroik's been absolutely fantastic at centre-back. To pull him out of there and expect him to do a job in central defensive midfield, I think was unfair. He's a young lad, and Bielsa obviously trusts him. So I'm not going against the grain here with Bielsa, because I trust him as well. But what I felt was there was just probably too many changes for to bring one player in. He moved three players around to make one change. Do you see what I mean? And I think that had a negative effect.
Too many square pegs in round holes, sort of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, why not play Shaq in midfield, which is his best position for me anyway? Leave Ayling at right back, his best position. Leave Stroik at centre back, his best position, and then just slot Dallas in at the defensive, or even Click. I'd have preferred Dallas myself, because I think would have missed Click moving forward. But yeah, I just think there was far too much, left herself far too much to do at the end of that first half. Albeit it was a courageable sort of fight back in the second half. There was a couple of times I thought we might have actually got a draw out of it.
Yeah, we played a lot better in the second half, didn't we? The football were a lot more liquid. Don't want to,
fluid.
Go too much into it, but yeah, liquid football. Yeah.
Moist football.
No, it were nice. It were good to watch, and it seemed to be more competitive. It were a little bit more end to end, whereas Arsenal seemed to get the teeth into us a little bit early on and punish us for it, especially with those shots. I mean, you'd expect Meslier to make a bit better saves than what he did, but he's a young lad. I know we keep going back to saying that he's a young lad and stuff like that, but he is. He's only 20-year-old. This is going to be massive experience for him, and hopefully next year, hopefully we're still in Premier League next year. I can't see us not being. Cross fingers. But yeah, he'll take it on to chin and he'll move on. He knows he fucked up. You can see it in his face. He knows he fucked up. But you can't.
He'll have the full support. He'll have the full support of all the coaching staff, including Marcelo Bielsa. Yes. He had a bad touch. Do you know what I mean? Mistakes fucking happen. What was your perception on Meslier's all-round performance? I'm not one to slate individual players. I just want to know what your thoughts were then, Bex, on his in particular. Do you think he was our worst player today?
I think he's one of our worst players today. I think, he's young and he's probably a little bit inexperienced, but he's played all but one of our games this season. He's a good goalkeeper. I just think he's had every player has a bad game. Every player does have a bad game, and I think today was definitely a bad game for him. There has been a few moments in other games throughout the season that he's had wobbles, but today was definitely a shocker. But you only have to look at Paddy for bad games, don't you? Like he has amazing games and then some all right games and some absolute shockers. And today Meslier had probably his worst game. Like absolutely terrible.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more on that, to be fair. So yeah, we've got a couple of guests coming on the show this week who just want to give us a bit of feedback. We was due to have an Arsenal fan, but we fucked him off after we got an hiding from him. Yeah. So first of all, I think we've got Shannon joining us, who is at Shan_ALAW.
Hi, Shannon.
Hiya, Shannon. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, welcome. Hello.
Your food's not here yet.
No, it is here. It is.
Oh,
it's just.
We won't keep you too long. What you got?
I appreciate it.
What you ordered?
I don't know. It's some gourmet burger place. I don't know. Something fancy.
Burger.
Nice.
On a Sunday. Bloody hell, what's going on?
What toppings have you gone for?
Honestly, I think I've just went plain and simple. I think it's like just a cheese and bacon burger.
Wicked. Cool. So thanks for agreeing to join us this evening. It is now. It feels like ages ago the game, doesn't it? Just wanted to get a bit of food for thought, really. Yeah, a bit of food for thought on your opinion of that 90 minutes. So, what was the highlight of the game for you, Shannon, if there was one?
I mean, the first half obviously was a bit of a shambles for us, wasn't it? I mean, we've obviously bit disappointing for that. I mean, then the second half, the changes we made obviously clearly made for a more entertaining game in that. We showed a lot more chances in the second half. I mean, Struck, for me, he was probably one of my favorites out there today, I think.
You enjoyed his performance?
Just that header.
Yeah, well,
I thought he was, I mean, that header was phenomenal. Yeah, really good goal. Although, I mean, like I say, I don't think anyone particularly stood out too much. I mean, it was more of everyone really needed each other out there today. Yeah. I think that was
it was a tough day. It was a tough day. I think a lot of the young lads who would come into the team. Don't know where Smarty's gone. He's back. I think it was a tough game. It was tough, and I think you're quite right. You said Struik took his goal fantastically. He's not a central defensive midfielder, and he did the best he could. No. You know, I mean, he put 100% in with the shirt for the shirt, and quite rightly got a goal. What a fucking header it was, by the way.
Yeah, bullet header,
incredible.
Yeah, it was all. So what didn't you like about it, other than the scoreline, I suppose, and the obvious loss that an Arsenal moving up was above us in the table? What was the real negatives that you'd take out of that 90 minutes?
I mean, there was some obvious, clear mistakes that were made on the pitch today. It was rather a sloppy performance that first half, and some silly passes that could have been avoided. I mean, the one as soon as Costa came on, that could have been avoided. Probably that last goal was a bit sloppy around the goal, and Meslier wasn't his A game today. It was just really all round. You can't quite pinpoint any particular bad points, because I mean, in that first half it was pretty much
just a bad point.
Yeah, the first half could be just a bad point.
The whole game was a bad point. Yeah. I mean, there's, like I say, you can't blame just one. It was a whole team. No one really performed outstandingly. No one really performed, worse than anyone else. But it was just one of those, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So, if you were to give one of the lads today man of the match, who would you have given it to?
See, I feel like this is one of a hard one, because, like I say, it was down to the whole team's performance what came out. But I mean, just for that header, I'd probably give it to Strutt. But I honestly, I think there was, I don't know, but there was some chances there for Bamford. Quite frankly, in that second half, there could have been a few more goals. But I couldn't. It'd be too difficult for me to choose anyone straight out.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think the last thing I'm going to let you go for your gourmet burger in a moment, Shannon. But the last thing before you do shoot off, what I'd just like you to do is give us a team rating out of 10, if you could, for me, given the scoreline and the first and second half, so the whole game.
Or even better, do it by half.
Okay, right.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, the first half, I'm gonna give it probably a 3. I mean, it was.
I think that's been kind, to be fair.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, that's a generous one. And probably a 6, maybe, for the second half. Obviously, just the goals getting in there. I'll give it that.
Fair dues. Yeah, that's perfect, Shannon. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, we'll jot those down. Thanks ever so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Lovely to meet you. We'll let you go have your gourmet burger now.
Enjoy.
Take care. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Right, what do you make of that then, guys?
She's exactly the same as what we've said, isn't she? Really?
Pretty much. I think the second half was. I think she was a bit harsh on the 6 out of 10. I think that second half deserved a little bit more than that. We went.
6.5.
No, we won the second half 2-1, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? We put in a good fucking shift. We probably could have had more goals in the second half. I think the first half she was probably a bit too fair. I think that would have probably been lower than that, 1 or 2 for me. And then the second half, I'd give us a 7 or 8. I thought we controlled the second half pretty well and moved the ball quite nicely at times.
Yeah, I got a couple of notes on. In fact, it was just before they bagged. In fact, it was the first penalty. And I was going to say Arsenal trying to control possession, slowing the pace down a lot, which they seem to try and do quite a bit throughout the first half. They tried to gain possession and trying to calm it down. They'll pass it here, there, and everywhere. But I can't. I mean, we're not supposed to talk, well of other, opposition and stuff like that. But what fucking player Saka is there?
He's class, isn't it?
Talent, that lad.
19-year-old.
Great kid.
He's got to be going to the Euros, hasn't he?
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? But I can't see it.
I can't. I don't know why.
But
who would you take actually out of interest to the Euros? Who's probably not a shoo-in out of all the English?
Young
Foden, 100%.
Foden. Sancho. Would you take Saka? I mean,
I would take Saka. Yeah. Saka, his name, isn't it? Bakary Saka.
Yeah,
I don't know how you pronounce it.
Saka. Yeah, it's Saka.
You tell us how to do it then, Bex. Tell us how to pronounce it. Come on.
I have no idea. I am the worst at pronouncing anything. Honestly, the worst.
I'm thinking of Hadi Saka, aren't I?
I think of Hadi Saka. Square it, Hadi.
Square it, Hadi, lad. I'm thinking of Hadi Saka. But yeah, Saka.
Saka, yeah. I'd take him. I thought he's absolutely class. I think our worst player, by the way, today was Gianni Alioski. I thought he was never in the game. And Saka, 19-year-old, made him look like a pub player. I'm not one to slate players individually, but he was poor. Just couldn't get hold of the ball, making mistakes left, right, and centre. But I know he'll come back stronger, and he'll probably put in a fucking man of the match performance next game. Do you know what I mean? He's
You
that
see
type
what
of player.
Shannon said though. Oh, go on, Becky. You're right.
Too busy ruffling people's hairs, wasn't he? And fucking thinking of Pepe. Like he wasn't thinking of the game, was he? He was thinking more about what he could do to upset people. I think he wasn't in it at all today.
I think it's part of it, a major part of his game, though, Alioski now, ruffling feathers and stuff like that. But, it's like Shannon said, and we've said previously as well, there's too many square pegs in round holes. To change one position or to make up for one position, it's changed through others, and it's just like, well, why just put someone else in there, give them a stab, leave everyone else where they feel comfortable. I like Stuart Dallas at left back, I like Aylan at right back, and I like Struijk and Cooper in the middle. Leave the fucking defence. It's the most important part of the team, really.
What defence?
Well, yeah, exactly. But you've got to show. Yeah. There's too many changes. There's too many fucking changes in defence. It's killing us, man. Absolutely killing us.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, with that in mind, why don't we get the thoughts of our last competition winner from what month was it? January, the January competition where she won the smartwatch. The lady is Jo Cocker, and her is the Vivid Frenzy. Here she is.
Hello.
Hi, Jo.
Hello.
How are you?
I love your hat.
Thanks.
How are you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. I'm good.
Go on. You were going to tell us a story about the art.
Well, yeah. I pointed it out. I saw it on online, and my husband bought it for my for Christmas, and then my brother liked it so much, and then I ended up having to buy a few more.
I think I'm in the wrong game. Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, and
go large or go home.
That palm at the end is huge.
Massive, yeah.
It's a very decent palm.
Yeah,
it's all about the size. So, Jo, thanks ever so much for joining us, and well done first of all on winning our first ever Orta No Better competition and winning the smartwatch.
Thank you very much.
Has that made its way to you yet? Have you received it?
No, the pony hasn't arrived yet, but
I will be on at Cal for that. Don't worry.
Cal.
But thank you very much. It's always nice to win something, isn't it?
Yeah, no, well done. So yeah, on to slightly more depressing stuff, I suppose. What did you think of today?
Well,
I'll take you from a real high of winning a competition down to a bit of reality.
Slam me down.
Well,
I wasn't expecting to win, to be honest. KP's not there. We're in London. I've got to say that when that fourth goal went in, just after half time, I thought I was going to be sick. You know that feeling when it hits your stomach and it's like I don't know, it's like somebody's just died, or it was a physical feeling. I just felt absolutely sick. And, it was a very silent room. I'm sat there on my own. I've got rugby fans in my family, so I kind of tend to watch on my own. It was very quiet.
So what we went 4-0 down within a couple of minutes of the second half restarting. What went wrong? Why were we so shit for the first 48 minutes?
I don't know. It was like the Crawley thing all over again, wasn't it? We had the ball for a moment, and instead of just kind of passing it around a little bit and finding the way through, they just kind of, I don't know, they just seemed to panic. I don't know what they did. We've seen it before. We've seen it happen before. It's awful. You've got lovely eyes, Becki G. Don't you?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was totally distracted by something really positive there. They come up at half time and you think, oh God, I hope Bielsa works his magic. When you see kind of the lineup, you think, I'm no expert. I'm just a massive fan. So you always think he knows best.
he knows best. He knows what he's doing. But I think you said that you prefer the back line to be as it was and not move straight forward. And they should have done that. They should have, in my opinion. But like I said, I'm no expert. I don't know.
No. Interesting, really, Jo, because the last guest who came on, Shannon, she said something quite contradictory to what you said. She actually gave him man of the match for us. I don't think
he was great.
I don't think he had a bad game. Yeah.
I think he was.
He's just
really
not
great.
a centre defensive midfielder. You know, he's far more influential in that back line, and I think would have had far more security, is if that's the best word, if he'd not been pushed forward into that midfield. But
and he got his header finally, so he did go home and do his homework, didn't he? Because he said after the last match, I'm going to go and practice some headers, and he did. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
He had it home.
And when he did score that goal, did you know, random fact, that the odds of 5-4, 4-5 was 350 to 1.
Really?
I think a couple of the group had a bet on it, to be fair.
And then it went to 80 to 1 after we put in the second, and it should have been 3 because Bamford
should have been.
Should have had that penalty.
Bamford should have had one, and I think Shackleton probably on another day would have controlled that and buried it as well when he was clipped in by Roberts. What did you make of Bielsa's changes then at half time when he took off Harrison and Click and brought on Costa and Roberts then?
I was speechless because in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, in the past that's never worked. However, this time it did work.
It did.
And it improved it massively. And I think that's probably down to the fact that they've been playing together with the under-23s, Shacks. And they had a little thing going on, the three of them, didn't they? You know, they had a little thing going, apart from Costa's deciding to dribble outside the box, which fourth calamity. But, you know, that moment aside, generally, they had really improved it. And, you know, for the first time, I'd say that was a positive change.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you there. I think most people will know that I'm not Tyler Roberts' biggest fan. As in football, as a person, lovely guy, whatever, but don't particularly think he's great on the pitch. However, I will eat my hat. Is that the right phrase? I don't know. Anyway, I will take it back today. Today, like, fair play to him. He was pretty all right. Like, I will. Yeah, I'll say sorry on that point.
Was that Costa? You said
Tyler Roberts.
Tyler Roberts, yeah. Well, the last couple of times he's come on, he has, you know, I mean, he's keen, he's wanted it, and in the first half, we didn't seem to want it.
I think you're spot on there, Joe. I think the last 3 substitution appearances Tyler Roberts has made, he's almost looked like a breath of fresh air. He's looked like that difference when we've needed that bit of spark, you know, the X factor, or whatever you want to call it. And he's been unlucky not to get a couple of goals, to be fair. He had the assist for Costa's goal. He also clipped in Shackleton when Shackleton probably on another day would have buried that. So yeah, I mean, he's doing what Bielsa wants him to do. I don't think we could hold that against him, to be fair. He's doing that job. He's still a young kid. He's only about 22, 23 years old as well.
And he's tall. He's tall. We need a bit of height in there, you know. And today, you know, we're good at corners.
Yeah, buried one.
We're good at corners, yeah. And last week we did that when Dallas took that ball from the counter attack and then scored from their corner, so we can defend them and we can now score from corners.
Just got to score more than the other team now, Joe. We've just got to learn to score more than the other team.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we either do or we don't. There doesn't seem to be an in between, does there?
No, baby steps.
Which everybody seems to love, me included, you know. But today, that fourth goal, honestly, it nearly killed me.
So the last thing that we ask all of our guests to do, Joe, is just to give an overall team performance rating out of 10, if you could kindly. You can do it based on first half and second half and do an average, or you can just give it an overall score. It's entirely up to you.
Oh, I don't know.
To watch, as a Leeds fan, how would you have said that first half was out of 10?
I'd say we lost the first half big time.
Yeah.
And we were very poor. I'd give us a score of 4.
Oof,
and
really
then
kind.
Kind
and
indeed.
the second half, I'd give us an 8.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think we did really well in the second half, and I was shouting at the telly like, "Stop passing it back! Stop passing it back! Go forward! Go forward!" Yeah, we need to go forward.
Super.
I don't know if any of you noticed in the first half when Raf seemed to do like a little bit of a move, a shimmy inside, passed the ball to Struick to kind of go 1-2, bit of a shimmy.
Oh yeah.
Struick lumped it back to Cooper and giving him a bollock in.
Yeah. There was a lot of that. There's a lot of that. There was one genius moment from Shax as well, where he did this slide to stop the ball, to keep the ball in, and took that, and I was just like, "Oh, go, nimble kid!" I mean, he's young and he's short, isn't he? But he's fast.
He is enough, rapid.
Quick,
yeah. Super. Well, Jo, thank you ever so much for joining us. Congratulations again on your win. We hope that Carl's posted it and he's not just pocketed the money. I'll double check that he's posted that out for you, Jo. But again, thanks ever so much for joining us. And here's to the rest of the season. Cheers, Jo.
Thanks, and follow me on Twitter, guys. Follow me on Twitter. I've got hardly any followers.
Yeah, we'll get your tweet. You'll be tagged in. When we put the tweet out, we'll make sure you're all tagged in and everything, so people know where to find you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much
Pleasure.
for having me, and happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's. Cheers, Jo.
Am I still here?
You're still here. Smarty's not doing his job. She's class. She's got to come back on again.
I love her.
She's ace.
Yeah, she was nice.
She was brilliant.
I didn't realise I had to kick him out afterwards.
Brilliant. What a guest.
Can we just go back to the substitutions bit a minute? Because, I mean, what the hell has Pablo done? I know we keep asking this.
He's just come back from an injury, hasn't he? He's just come back from another injury.
No, but like...
Was he on the bench today? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we were back for this game, yeah.
I think even if he wasn't injured, I just don't think he'd play him.
Well, they had that spat, didn't they? When did Marcelo take him off?
Yeah, and he threw his band on
subbed him.
Yeah.
He built a water bottle and took his armband off, didn't he? In a bit of a temper tantrum.
That's right. And you know what he's like, Marcelo, when it comes down to players and respect and stuff like that. But I don't think it's all about that. I genuinely think Marcelo probably doesn't think he's up to it in this league, although he's shown a couple of times he's got that touch of class. But he's knocking on now. He's coming to the end, isn't he? Bless. I'm going to cry when he leaves, I think.
Yeah, it'll be a sad day when Pablo leaves. It will.
I just hope we've got it'd be sad to see him go without a crowd.
Yeah. I think my thinking on it is there'll be another if it does happen and we're still in lockdown and things, there'll be another sort of promotion type scenario outside Ellen Road, because I don't think the fans would allow him to leave without a proper send off, unless there's something put in place by the club and his hometown club potentially for a pre-season friendly at Ellen Road or something along those lines would be quite nice. But anyway, back to Jo. What a guest. Absolutely nuts, absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to get her on again. I'm already buzzing to see her again.
Yeah, she's a bit of character, isn't she?
Yeah, with a great, fantastic stuff. Has either of you got anything else to add about the game before we sort of start closing up and moving on to pastures new this week?
Not really.
Not sure I really want to talk about the game any more than what we already have.
It's a bit of a sore subject in it at the moment. I know. I mean, we've got to be realists, haven't we, at the end of the day? We're 11th in the Premier League. We're likely
with the game in
probably
hand.
9. Sorry.
With the game in hand.
With the game in hand, we're probably 95% sure of staying in the Premier League to next year, where we're all going to be allowed back in the stadiums and allowed to actually watch it in person. I think this whole social media is difficult because it's everybody that's on there, all the fans, whereas before you'd have 40,000, 30,000 would be in the ground. You'd have probably another 100,000 in pubs. But at the minute, everyone's sat in their house watching the game, and then they're swarming to social media. And sometimes it's a little bit, what's probably the best word? Magnified, probably.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and I
like you're in
think-
a snow globe.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely. At the minute, and it just seems that everybody from every angle, and it's just I'm finding it a bit tough at the minute on there, Twitter and others. Everyone's got conflicting arguments and different opinions. I get that, but there's no need to be at each other's fucking throats, is there? Do you know what I mean?
I remember when Twitter used to be all about having discussions and stuff like that, but now if
Yeah.
you don't prove that you're right somehow, it's like frigging, it's like a zoo. It's like a zoo on there. People trying to get one up on you and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. We can have a discussion. We don't have to be at each other's throats. We can have opposing opinions. That's fine.
Everyone wants to be the biggest fan, don't they? That's the
That's it, yeah.
tiring thing I find. Like, it's just like, get over it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as we're all supporting the same club. Like, I
Absolutely.
don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. I've got a question for you.
Go on.
I don't know the answer. How many more games have we got down in London?
In London, I think there's only 2. I will tell you now. We got Wolves. By the way, the next game is Wolves at home on Friday. We've got West Ham away on the 6th of March, and we've got Fulham away on the 20th of March. And I think that's it.
Nice. Wolves is a big game for me. It's rivalry in my family. My dad's a Wolves supporter. So fun.
Ooh.
Mm.
Well, if you need any help sorting them out, Bex, give us a shout. James and I'll be round the heavies. And but yeah, thanks both of you again for joining me. We'll probably wrap up there if nobody's got anything else to say, and we march on together to Wolves on Friday.
Absolutely.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers, bye.
Am I still here?